Thank you. So one Russia follow-up and then a separate issue. I just want to be clear, there are congressional leaders who are being briefed on the Russia situation, but the president has still not been briefed on the situation?
Look, this has been asked and answered. The president is briefed on verified intelligence.
And how does he know, if he hasn't been briefed, how is he certain that Russia didn't put out these bounties?
The president is briefed on verified intelligence, and again, I would just point you back to the absolutely irresponsible decision of the New York Times to falsely report that he was briefed on something that he in fact was not briefed on. And I really think that it's time for the New York Times to step back and ask themselves why they've been wrong, so often. The New York Times falsely claimed Paul Manafort asked for polling data to be passed along to Oleg Deripaska before having to issue a correction. In June of 2017, the New York Times falsely wrote all 17 intel agencies had agreed on Russian interference before having to issue a correction that it was only 4 agencies. In 2017, February of that year, New York Times published a story claiming Trump campaign aides had repeated contacts with Russian intelligence, which even James Comey has said was almost entirely wrong, New York Times. New York Times published a column in March of 2019 by a former Times executive editor that asserted the Trump campaign in Russia had an overarching deal that the quid of help in the campaign against Hillary for the quo of a new pro-Russian foreign policy. That's what we call the Russia hoax, which was investigated for 3 years with taxpayer dollars before ultimately getting an exoneration in the Mueller report. It is inexcusable, the failed Russia reporting of the New York Times, and I think it's time that the New York Times and also the Washington Post hand back their Pulitzers.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times and choosing us as your news source. If you guys like this clip, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You share it on social media. And if you want to watch the full exchange, the full Q&A with Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany and the reporters at the White House, check the link at the top of the comments. It should also be coming up on your screen. Click on it. Go check it out. It was awesome. Kayleigh McEnany did a very good job making sure that that the truth is reported instead of all the fake news from the Washington Post and the New York Times. So check it out. Thanks so much, folks. And we hope that if you are new, that you subscribe to the channel and you click that notification bell. And also make sure you follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times and on Parler at Golden State Times. Thank you so much, folks, and we'll see you very soon. Subscribe, click the notification bell, and click the thumbs up button. See you soon.